Questions?
Initial impressions, Coach, his first exhibition.
Probably based on the way we've been practicing, probably a little bit what I would have expected. I'm proud of the way they responded when we got down. There really was no panic, which is really good on a young team. And I thought Severe Wheeler came in and changed the dynamic of the game. And, I started 5 guys. Like I try to tell the team, we don't have a starting lineup. I've said this last year, I've said it every year I coach. If you get a team that's got 7, 8, upwards of 9 potential starters, that means you got 7, 8, 9 potential finishers, right? And that's exactly what you want it to become as you grow it. But we got to keep searching for that. But there's a lot of areas where the things that we have not spent a lot of time on. And team basketball has been one of them because we're spending so much time on trying to get them to understand cutting, movement, being ready to shoot, defensive fundamentals in the half court. And it didn't look like it tonight, obviously, but we've got to get way, way better at playing longer stretches. And we will. We've got to get better at rebounding the ball. I mean, there's obviously a big list of things we've got to get better at. But the bottom line is they kept playing hard. We had a lot of deflections. They got more active as the game went on. And there was a ton of room for improvement.
You mentioned Severe. Of course, that moved Anthony off the ball. Was that a reason for it? Or
we move Anthony. We're not Anthony does a lot off the ball. It's not about, this guy's the ball handler, this guy's not. My thing is we need decision makers, right? And part of the standards in the program is to get guys to really move without the ball, be able to play multiple ways offensively, be able to guard multiple people defensively, which we've got to get better in that, especially when it comes to taking away their strengths, because we didn't do a very good job of that on number 4 tonight. We've taken away his strengths, but this is not it. Don't watch this year and say, okay, well, this guy's the main ball handler, or this guy's this, or this guy's that. That's not how we're doing it. And but I say that, and if we don't rebound the ball better, it'll be hard to play 3 guards, right? So but again, it's first night, and it's early, very, very early to play a game like this. I'm glad we've done it. Now we'll get ourselves ready to get better and keep adding what we've got to add and get ready to go play in a very tough environment next week in Charlotte, which I'm looking forward to.
As far as Anthony's ability to play within your offense, what you expect him to do, just kind of how do you look tonight? Just what have you seen from him?
He did a good job, but he's got to move better without the ball. But everybody does, right? There was a lot of waiting for it tonight rather than cutting and creating from that. We're a cerebral spacing team. We're not necessarily a system spacing team. And again, that's a lot of it where we shouldn't be behind in the half court on that, even though we were, but we are going to be behind in the full court. But we've got to do a lot more cutting and movement. Like, we're in the slots, which is a big three-point area for us, but we're standing there waiting for the ball. And when you're waiting for the ball, there's no real ability to penetrate and get downhill the way that we need. So, but cutting, lifting, now all of a sudden you're in the slot, or now all of a sudden you're at the top of the key, and you did it out of movement, not waiting and standing. And it takes. Think about it. We got 9 freshmen out there, right? 7 scholarship guys. If they weren't the star of their team, okay, where they were pretty much things were centered around them, that you could count the other ones on one finger, right? I mean, it just with one finger. It's just what it is. I mean, you've just got to get them to understand how important, in the context, moving without the ball, getting each other open, making simple plays. Some of our errors tonight were out of commission, right? We're trying to make plays that really aren't there, even though we're trying to make it for the teammates. So you don't want to stifle unselfishness, but we can't have reckless creativity either. We've got to have fundamental creativity. Mm-hmm. So I say all that. It's October 18th, and we got a lot of stuff to get better at with them. And now there's some visual proof they have against another team, which will be helpful.
I think Tamari was one of the leaders in assists tonight. What does he bring to this team with his ability to be?
He brings a lot of versatility, and that's the biggest thing with him. There's a ton of versatility with him. He's going to play a lot. I mean, you can count on that. I mean, he is going to play a lot. If somebody had earned a starting spot, I would say he had, right? But bottom line is, there's a lot of room for improvement with him too. He's got to be more vocal. This team, as we go forward now, as we start to create an identity, it's who's really going to establish that they're going to rebound. Who's going to, it's not that we're not going to commit turnovers, but who's not trying to make plays that aren't there? Are we going to get better defensively at really being able to take things away from people? You know, we had, like I said, we had a ton of deflections. We had really good length tonight. But we got to do a better job with our feet, right? We got to do a better job with our voice, those type of things. And then who's going to consistently move well without the ball? And Tumani does a lot of those things already, but he can do them a lot better.
You talk about the importance of the team, the chemistry, and how much can you help with that, and how much of it has to kind of occur organically as far as these guys. Crump was talking about being a leader of Anthony.
I think organic is a good word. It's a good modern day word. Like I said this in the radio show with Scott early on. It's like the chicken or the egg, right? What comes first, the chemistry or the roles, right? And I think right now what we've got to start to do is really get roles established. And I said this to them after practice last night. They will never play basketball again, all right, if they keep going up these levels where they don't have to earn a role, right? They're not going to be able to go back to high school or prep school. You don't get to go back to AAU in the summertime. They have got to earn roles. And then when you want your role to expand, you have to earn that expansion, and that usually comes from doing a lot of extra work, and it usually comes from making your teammates better. So with that, that's where I think chemistry hopefully will come organically from that. We haven't had enough combinations in practice. I mixed some up yesterday, and you'd have thought that I dropped the bomb in the middle of the floor. It was so messed up, right? That's part of youth. They've got to keep getting a rhythm of playing together, and it'll come. I mean, it just takes time, but it'll come. And we just got to keep. It's not like we got to make a lot of changes. We've got to keep building on what we're trying to do, and then we've got to keep keeping them more accountable for it. You know, when we practice.
What are those roles that you're looking for them to step
Well,
into?
there's so many. You know what? You got a football game tomorrow night to cover, so I don't know if we can get all those roles down. But I said it a minute ago. I said it this. We've got to have people that are going to rebound the ball. You're not winning in the SEC if you don't rebound the ball. You're not even sniffing winning if you're not rebounding the ball. And then you got to find an edge inside of the rebound, or the rebounding. And but I think guys that'll rebound and understand that grit and toughness that goes into that, the moving and the cutting without the ball, being a very good positional defender. But we've got to have some people emerge that will really guard the better players on the other team and not let them get to their strengths. You know, so those roles, you know, we've got to kind of force feed those a little bit, and see who's going to emerge. And it could be different people emerging throughout the season. But nobody's role is to come down and be the main operator every time. All right, we need a team of guys that make decisions. And as we continue to learn that, we'll get much better.
Anthony said he might have been a little nervous there at the first, and I think he came out, and then you put him back in, and it seemed like he was settled down.
Yeah.
And
they were all nervous except for Valdosta State. They weren't nervous, but we were giving them easy shots. But I wasn't concerned about that. I mean, I was concerned about who's going to get the tide stemmed for us right here, so we can get in the game. You know, because once we got back in the game, then I felt like we'd be where we needed to be. But somebody needed to stem the tide, and that was Severe, and actually Chris Brown a little bit too. And so, and Monzi did a pretty good job with that. So we got some. I think Severe led us in rebounds, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's the good news tonight. I'm not sure that's the good news the rest of the year, but you know, it is what it is. We've got. It's gonna be. We have 9 freshmen, 7 scholarship freshmen. I mean, it is gonna take some time for us to get that.
You talk about roles. Where do you get Rayshawn? It looked like last year you did so much.
Keep building a lot. I don't have roles yet. I said we got to earn them. We got to keep. That's got to come. I think maybe before the chemistry.
Well, what would you like to see him do optimally?
Oh, much more consistency. Rebounding, much more consistency. He showed flashes tonight. I think the biggest thing for Ray is he's got to be the same guy every day in practice, and that's the leadership that he's got to bring. Okay, I don't have unrealistic expectations for the verbal leadership right now. You know, hopefully that will come as his confidence continues to come. He's got to be a day-by-day player. And I've said that to him, so I'm not saying anything that should shock him if he sees it. Every day, he's got to come in with an enthusiasm, as an energy source, and a guy that's flying around. And because he should be a hard matchup. He should be a very hard matchup no matter where we play him. And that's what he's got to do. But he's got to get much more physical around that basket when the shot goes up. But he's not alone. We got a team of guys that got to get more physical when the shot goes up around basket, to get the rebounds. But there's no reason, if Ray's gonna be productive for us, which is what he's gotta be as a junior, he's gotta do more of that, he's gotta do it more often, and then the role will kind of come from that.
Anthony was talking about Jordan and Tyree being his big brothers. Like, how critical is player
I didn't know they were related, is that right? They're big brothers? That's good. Are we all family? We're just all family.
That's
Go ahead.
all right. How critical is player leadership like that on a team like this where you've got so many freshmen?
It's huge, right? And it's an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing thing. A leader is somebody that doesn't have to be playing well to continue to lead and have it not affect them, right? And it's great to be a leader with confidence. It's great to be a leader when you're fresh. You've got to continue to be the same guy when it's not going well for you. That is a definition of leadership in modern day college basketball, right? Like you've got to be able to do that, right? And because that's where the leadership comes. They're looking to say, okay, are you the same guy when it's not going so well for you, right? And I think all in all, where we've got to grow as a team, we have guys that are getting better at helping tell guys things. Well, they got to make sure they're getting better at being told things themselves, and that's where leadership grows. But I mean, those are two guys that are really trying it. Donnell is trying it. He's in a different role than what he's been in. But this is going to have to be, a collective leadership group. I'd like to say, okay, there's that one or two alpha guy that's going to run that locker room, run this team. I'm not sure we're there. But that's where, again, I go back to what Mike said. What comes first, the roles or the chemistry? And the chemistry does become more organic as you grow through that. But you got to go through conflict and different stages to get to that place. So, and we're not there yet, right? It's all part of how you grow inside of an early part of a season.
2 more questions. How have you seen that chemistry between like upperclassmen and freshmen kind of happen this early in the season? And how's
I
it
think they get
impacting you?
along. I think they get along. I think it's like everybody, when they understand the value of what you get off defense, we understand the value of getting a defensive board so we can get our break going. When they understand, what we got to understand right now, there were 24 opportunities we had that we didn't get to score, right? I mean, last year we averaged 16 opportunities that we didn't get to score, right? We didn't get a chance to score, right? So like, I'm more concerned about that. Like, let's make sure we're all trying to make it simple and better for each other. And then that kind of takes off. And it just takes time. They need rhythm together. We don't have good rhythm. We don't have a good rhythm that comes from playing a lot together. And a lot of it's because the way we've set up the summer, set up the fall, and set up practice. I mean, we have a lot of fundamentals to learn. And the more you play up and down full court, the more those fundamentals don't get understood, right? And then all of a sudden it becomes hodgepodge, it becomes very, very sloppy. And we just got to continue to grow through that. We've got to have a good balance of what our half-court work is, what our fundamental player development work is, and what our full-court work is. That it? Nobody has to ask the last one if they don't have it. We good?
That's it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.